Hello, everyone. So last week I made a post on Threads. I'm going to share it with you and then let's discuss. All right. So I wrote, "The way rejected men stay bitter for years is truly a phenomenon that needs to be studied." Okay. So the reason why I made this post, I had several girlfriends in separate conversations make comments on the same day about how there was some guy in their past that they either didn't want to date or dated and broke up with, and the guys years later, some in some cases over a decade, they were still mad about it. They were still bitter about it. And so that just reminded me of how, even in my own life, there are men who I either broke up with or didn't want to date, and they were still pissed off about it, like years later, where sometimes I've even forgotten that they existed. And I find that this is not an unusual thing. Like many women have stories like this. But on top of that, I've had discussions with men who, at some point in their life, they were rejected by a woman for whatever reason, and they were still plotting revenge. In fact, you see these revenge fantasies online all the time where the guy's like, there's some like cartoon, like he's in high school and a woman doesn't want him. And then years later, decades later, he's like supposedly successful and she's like pregnant or something. These revenge fantasies come from men, bitter men, and they're always plotting years later. So I'm not making this up. This is not in my head. This is not some unusual phenomenon. There are men, like literally men are making these memes about how like they were rejected in the past and they can't wait to be able to reject the woman or, somehow get revenge on the woman that rejected them. This is not me. This is men. All right, made the post, got a lot of reactions, wanted to share a few. All right, so this guy wrote, "The way women handle rejection by asking, 'Are you gay?' needs to be studied too. Because sis, your best friend is gay. The homophobia always randomly comes out." All right, sir, I agree that that's a homophobic response, but what does that have to do with my post? This is the thing that men do. Like, if a woman makes a statement about men, they gotta somehow twist it around. And I have several of those comments in here. Somehow it has to be about women. Instead of just accepting that maybe we should just get some therapy, let it go, understand that everybody gets rejected, deal with those hurt feelings, something like that. Anyway, next comment. This guy wrote, "It was fine when the worst she could say was no." Women literally get attacked for saying just the word no. I don't know why men are so, well, I do know. They feel entitled to women. Men feel entitled to the woman that they like. And so the idea that a woman can say no is enraging to a lot of men, which is probably the core of the bitterness, is that they feel like women shouldn't be able to reject them. But literally, women have been punched in the face for just saying no. So this idea that there's something worse, no is enough for women to have men coming at them in very violent ways. So just so you understand, it, that can get a violent response. Just the word no. All right. This guy wrote, "I think it's mostly about how they are rejected rather than being rejected because that causes an issue here." Again, the entitlement coming from men is if they can't be rejected or women have to reject them the way they want to be rejected. That is not how life works. You get rejected, you get rejected. You go and deal with the rejection. How you handle it instead of becoming bitter for years and years, that's on you. But men seem to believe that somehow women have to change how we decide to reject someone. They want women to coddle men's feelings, and we don't have to. Even though many times women are violently attacked for rejecting men, we shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to soften the blow of the rejection to make you feel better. That's a you issue. All right. This guy wrote, "And that's a good thing. If he had a feeling for her, it allows men to work harder on themselves, to train harder, to work harder. The best thing in my life was a heartbreak. I quit smoking and started to work out. A woman with all her options forget you in a heartbeat and see you them with 40 and 3 kids or on OnlyFans." I don't know what he was I have a general idea of what he was trying to say. He's doing the revenge fantasy. Like, she rejected me and now I'm going to go work on myself and be better so I can either make her want me or, and I can reject her when she is old or older and has kids or has to work on OnlyFans. Believe me, sir, Women, we don't care. Like, we're not checking for, if we reject you in the past, we are not checking for you in the future. I did a video about this. We don't care. Like, if we said no then, the answer is still no now. So that fantasy of being able to get revenge, plot revenge, and she's going to want you later, it's just a fantasy. All right. This guy wrote, it's not that interesting. Too many rejection, rude rejection, and lies that sticks. Women don't say sorry, no, at the first signs. They let the man court them, even when they know he had no chance, giving false hope. Those are what hurts the most, and it sticks. Again, you cannot control how someone rejects you. And women have no obligation to make you feel better about them rejecting you. You guys are like I said, these responses to my posts are proving my point that instead of men saying, oh, I need to go and work on myself so I'm not bitter about this for years and years, they still want to blame women for how they feel. You cannot blame women for how you feel. How you feel is all on you. So if you are upset because she rejected you and she didn't reject you how you wanted her to reject you, you don't even want her to reject you. So it doesn't matter how she rejects you. You're just upset at the rejection. Go deal with those hurt feelings. All right. This guy wrote, sounds like you want the benefit of said rejected guy without reciprocation. If I wanted the benefit, I wouldn't have rejected him. Make it make sense. And again, you guys are, you value yourselves way higher than your true value. If we wanted your benefits, we would not reject you. Keep that in mind. Okay. This guy wrote, do you see the way women reject men? It's cruel and dehumanizing. It's like most of you are allergic to basic human decency. Another one. Fellas, women are not responsible for how you feel when women reject you. We are not obligated to make the rejection softer so that you don't experience hurt feelings. We don't have to do anything. And I don't think most of the time, just saying no in your mind is dehumanizing. So again, that's a you issue. Work on you, understand that rejection's a part of life. And if your feelings are hurt, just say my feelings are hurt and go work on that. Go, process those hurt feelings. All right. This guy wrote, well, I beg to disagree because the bitterness of single moms on this platform should be something in university. Okay. Again, somehow this conversation is not about single mothers, but men get in their feelings when you point out something about them and suddenly they got to go attack single moms. Let's go attack the single moms. But again, I think, the bitterness, like when they say women are bitter, I really think it's a deep projection of how men become bitter. Because you know how they project all their bad behavior onto women and then say women do this, but women don't actually do that. It's actually the men. The bitter thing, the way that they call women bitter, is really the men. Okay. Next one. This man wrote, is he bitter or he just sees women for who y'all really are? After an ass whooping that I'm grateful for, I definitely see y'all for who y'all really are. And I'll never take one of you seriously ever again. Thank you. We appreciate that you're leaving us alone. And whatever you're going through, somebody beat you up, that sounds traumatic, and maybe you should get some therapy for that because that's not normal. But yes, thank you for leaving us alone. Like, fellas, never threaten us with a good time. If you don't like women and you don't want to be around women, we're okay. We're okay. All right. This guy wrote, it's called a broken heart. It's not a new thing. In fact, thousands of years of literature and art have been entirely dedicated to that exact phenomenon. A broken heart is a sign someone who was invested in their relationship. Who should be studied more is the people who are totally fine with their breakups within days. Unfortunately, in the studies on the subject so far, it's clear that most of these people already had a backup person that helped soften their hard landing, or they were never invested. I wish some of y'all, instead of getting online and writing these long messages to strangers, would just go online and find a therapist, because this is just saying so much about you as a person. Like, whatever breakup you went through, I'm not sorry that it happened to you, but you gotta work on dealing with hurt feelings. Men have a lot of anger because they're hurt. And hurt feelings, that's what therapy is for. You got to process that. Everybody's feelings get hurt. Women, our feelings get hurt. We go have a cry about it. We figure it out. We talk to our girlfriends. We go to our support network. We work on how we feel, and then we get back out there and we let it go. Men, you guys are just holding on that pain in. You gotta do something about that. Let that go. All right. This guy wrote, I don't know a single man that's been rejected that's bitter for years after most of us just shrug it off and carry on with our lives. You just think you're all that, so when you reject a dude, you just have to go with the extra mile and say they're bitter, when in reality, they, for vanity, genuinely don't care. Sometimes I read these things and I laugh because I'm like, sir, what are you talking about? Again, therapy works, and we all know a bitter man. You guys have friends who are mad at some woman that she was a girl when she rejected him, some middle school girl, and rejected a guy, and like you're grown now and he's still pissed off about it. So cut it out. You've seen this. All right. This guy wrote, the fact that so many women reject men they are on par with in terms of physical attraction, and sometimes more so, is beyond me. Makeup is a woman's greatest tool of deception. You probably think you're handsome. I didn't look at your picture. I probably should have pulled your picture up. She doesn't have to like you because you think you're on par with her physically. She can say no. I think a lot of you guys have a hard time with the idea that women do not have to like you if you like them. Yes. All right. And last, this guy said, notice how this person employed the poisoning of the well fallacy by calling all men that attempt to refute her bitter. There is no need to attempt a refutation. I don't know. Sometimes you guys, I just wish you would stop. But you make me laugh because you think that you can debate or you think you're smart or whatever. It's funny. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. And peace, guys.